everybody. My name is Shannon and this is my YouTube channel that I am going to dedicate completely to those of you who are looking to do your very first bodybuilding competition just like me. So I have never competed before. I have finally picked a show and I am about 14 weeks out from my very first figure competition, figure show. I am, just a little bit of background of who I am. I'm 47 years old. I am a full-time nurse and a mother of 3 children of my own plus 2 stepchildren. So I do have a very busy life, but I'm super excited to see how I can fit this crazy prep schedule into hopefully a very rewarding end result in a figure show in the next 3.5 to 4 months. So first of all, why have I decided to do bodybuilding? Well, I used to be a competitive CrossFitter. I've been an athlete sort of my whole life. I was a dancer growing up. Didn't really play sports in college. I was a competitive dancer in college, and then after I started having my babies, I became a ultra marathon runner and turned CrossFitter, competed in regionals a few times with a team, and then several years ago suffered a super devastating knee injury that essentially took me out of being a competitive CrossFitter. So it was time for me definitely to find a new passion, something that I could compete in that wouldn't hurt my body, that would still be a pretty huge challenge. So several of my friends over the years told me, oh my gosh, you should totally compete in bodybuilding. You should do that. And I don't know, when I thought about it, I thought, oh, I don't know, like, is that really a sport? Wow, I mean, was I wrong? Like, I knew nothing about it. I thought it was just girls out on stage with a tan, nice hair, good makeup, cute bikini, just sort of walking around and doing poses. And that is absolutely not what it is at all, I am finding out. So yeah, this is going to be one of the toughest things I've ever done. And what I'm hoping to do with this YouTube channel is hopefully inspire some of you who maybe are on the fence thinking about maybe doing a bodybuilding competition in whatever category you decide to pick. And hopefully offer tips and tricks along the way as I'm learning, because I'm certainly learning every single day. I've just completed my very first week of prep. It actually wasn't a whole full week because we were in Disneyland and of course I cheated there. But I have gotten my new workout schedule and my new diet for prep. So first of all, when you are thinking about categories for competition as a woman, you have several different options. So your first option, and they're all based on how much muscle mass you have. So the first option would be bikini, and that would be the least amount of muscle mass. The second would be figure. Third would be physique. And the last would be bodybuilding. So if you're unfamiliar with those, probably a good idea just to go YouTube a couple videos of the differences between the different categories, because that's super important when you're looking at what category you would like to compete in. And for me, I didn't really know a whole lot, so what I did is I just YouTubed a bunch of videos and I started looking at women who looked similar to me, things that I liked about their physique that maybe I would like to try to achieve on my own, and that's how I landed on figure. I was gonna start in bikini. I could probably do a bikini competition, I don't know, maybe in the next 3 months and be pretty successful, but from what my coach says, I might have to soften out my upper body a little bit, and that's not something that I really wanted to do. What I want to do is add muscle mass, not take it away. So I realize that it's going to take a little bit more time for me to put on enough muscle mass to be competitive in figure. I've decided to start with a semi-local show. I'm going to be doing I believe it's called the Fresno Open or something like that on April 23rd, I think is what it is. And then after that, maybe 6 months out, try my hand at something a little higher level. But we'll just see how it goes. Now, being 47, of course, that puts me in a little different age category. It's actually, I'm coming in from a pretty good place, I feel like, because I have option to compete in the Masters division. I can also compete as a novice because I've never competed before. And I can compete in the open division, which is like all the girls. So, yeah, I'll probably compete in all 3 divisions in my first show just to see where I land. It'll be a good learning experience. So anyway, what is prep? People threw that term out lots. I have a lot of friends who compete, and I'm like, well, what the heck does prep mean, and how far out do you need to start prepping, and all that stuff. My gosh, there is so much to learn. So essentially what prep means is you are in competition mode. So your diet, your mindset, and your workout regimen are tailored very, very strictly to your end result. So I'm starting about 14 weeks out. I just got my diet. It's not expected that I'm going to be cheating in any way in my diet plan or my exercise plan. Of course, you know, people get sick and all the life comes into play, especially when you have, you know, 4 kids at home and you work a full-time job. But that's just all part of the fun and part of the challenge of getting in shape to do a show like this. So I just see it as more of a challenge. So essentially what I'm doing is I am eating, I believe, 6 meals a day. That's the biggest challenge for me, is being able to actually get in all of that food. It's not fun food. It's very basic food, very lean ground beef, salads. I don't have chicken right now. Eggs, a lot of eggs, and a lot of protein shakes because we want to get some mass on me. My workouts are starting right now 6 days a week. I'm lifting all 6 days, and then 3 of those days I'm adding 45 minutes on the stair climber, which being a CrossFitter and coming from a CrossFit background is like the worst thing ever. I'm so incredibly bored. I can't even tell you how boring it is to be on a stair stepper for 45 minutes. It's one thing to run for 8 hours outside. It's another thing to be 45 minutes on a stair stepper at the gym. So I've been watching Netflix shows, etc., just trying to pass the time. That's the biggest challenge. Everything else is pretty fun. Not super duper hard, except for the fact that I crave apple fritters like crazy. So just kind of curbing those cravings. So anyway, this is week 1. I'm going to include maybe some video and a few photos here of me looking like a complete dork trying to do some poses because I don't have a posing coach yet. Still early for that. Probably in the next few weeks I'll start on my posing because you're only as good as your posing, right? So that's what I'm learning too. You can have all the muscle, you can be as symmetric and look as good as you could imagine, but if your posing sucks, you're not gonna win. So posing's super important. So I'm just gonna put some probably pretty crappy poses out there, but just to give you an idea of what I look like at week 1. Starting stats, I'm 127 pounds. I just checked in today. I'm a little sad I gained a percentage of body fat, so I'm starting at 10.7%. Last week I was 9.8, and then, like I said, we went to Disneyland, so yeah. So I'm 10.7% body fat, and I have about 65 pounds of lean muscle mass, which I'm hoping to get up to 70 plus by the time I compete. So crossing fingers. Anyway, I hope to check in once a week and have new topics for you, progress photos and things like that. So please do subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at Never Say Never Girl. That's me, Never Say Never Girl. yeah, it's not a Bieber thing at all, I promise. And I think that's about it. So thank you for watching. I know this is really spotty. I promise it'll get better as we go along, and bear with me. And like I said, to all of you girls who are on the fence about maybe doing this, just do it. Just friggin' do it, because it's gonna be so much fun. All right, love you all, and we will talk again next week. Bye. Okay, so like I said, this is not anything what you would wear, right? Like wrong shoes, wrong anything. Like these apparently need to be like really hiked up like this, something like that. Okay, so I believe front pose is supposed to be something like heels together, standing up straight, chest high, relaxed hands, and then like squeezing like you can't breathe, but then smiling. Something like that. Okay, whew. All right, then side, maybe the other side. Okay, and then the dreaded back pose, and these are the worst pants ever because they're like way up my butt. Same thing, I think. Heels together. I'm learning. That's it. So, heels together, feet pointed out slightly, and then something like this. Really trying to get that lat spread.